Well, here's an interesting chess puzzle, and here it is. White to play and win. You can pause the video to find the best move for white here. So first of all, if you try to sacrifice the rook with the idea, if he takes with the bishop, then you can take, and after he goes here, you can attack the bishop, and this bishop is trapped because after he goes here, you can take, and you're winning this. But what if here, he doesn't take with the bishop, and takes with the king? Then, after you take, you can just move his bishop here. And this is a draw because if you try to play knight e7, he can just move his king, knight d5. Well, then he can just move his bishop away, and after you take, he can attack your knight. And after you anywhere, he can play bishop s2 and sacrifice his bishop for this pawn, and it's a draw. So here, the winning move is knight e7 check. Well, what's the idea? King d8, only legal move, attacking the knight. Now here, if you try to play knight d5, well then you can take with check, and after you take, this is a draw. So here, you got to play rook takes b8, sacrificing the rook. Well, what's the idea? If he takes with the king, then you will save the rook, and after he goes here, you can take this pawn later. Instead you play rook d1, this is called cutting off the king. Now this king cannot enter here, so after something like king e6, you can slowly take this pawn and maneuver here. For example, after bishop e6, you have rook d7, and after bishop g1 or something, you have king b7, and then you can simply sacrifice the rook for this pawn, and after he takes, you take, and then you can easily promote and win. But wait, here, can't he just take with the bishop, ignoring your knight? Well then, if you try to play knight to d5, then you have bishop a7 with the same thing as we saw earlier. Instead, you gotta play knight c8, sacrificing the knight. If he doesn't take and play something like king e8, well then you can take, and after he goes king d8, attacking the knight, you play king b7, defending the knight and attacking the bishop. So bishop moves anywhere or king moves, then you can take the bishop and you're winning. But the tricky part comes when he plays king takes c8, and after you take, here you gotta be careful because after king d8, you play king b7, attacking the bishop, he goes bishop a7, you take, he goes here. Now if you play king to b7, it's a blunder because after king goes here, now you're forced to move away from the defense of the pawn, and then black is actually winning this. This is also a popular endgame you should know. Here you gotta play king b8, moving away from the defense of the pawn, putting black in sook zone. King d6 hits this pawn, then you play king b7, and as you can see, he is forced to move away from the pawn, then you take, and this is an easy win for white.
Well, this is not the end. Here are some more amazing chess puzzles like these, and if you don't want to miss the upcoming videos, then don't forget to subscribe.